Yes, you're watching India Upfront with me, Rahul Shivshankar, and viewers, we're going to focus on a story that has captured the national imagination, has become very quickly the top story, and this is a story that results from yet another face-off between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. The latest flashpoint is not something that happened between the Lieutenant Governor and the Delhi government, or even the centre and the Punjab government. It has happened because Tajinder Singh Bagga, who is a top leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party, was picked up from his home by the Punjab Police and almost taken to Punjab. The Haryana Police intercepted the Punjab Police Party and freed Tajinder Singh Bagga. Now this has led to a war of words erupting between the AAP and the BJP. The BJP says that Tajinder Singh Bagga was arrested illegally. He was kidnapped. The AAP says that the intervention by the Haryana police was illegal and that Mr. Bagga had been served 5 notices and was evading the Punjab police. These notices were served allegedly for making inflammatory, obscene comments against the Aam Aadmi Party's Supremo, Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal. But this has now turned into an ugly spectacle that played out, viewers, on the streets in Haryana, where police force versus police force came head to head in quite an unprecedented way. We've been seeing a lot of this now over the last 1 year, when at times, especially going back to the Sushant Singh Rajput case, the police from Patna, the Bihar police, came to Bombay. They were not allowed to do their work. There was a standoff. And now, of course, viewers, in this particular case, where the Haryana police stops a police party from Punjab that had detained Mr. Bagga, were taking him to Punjab, stalled in Chandigarh in Haryana, not allowed to go. Tajinder Bagga is freed by the Haryana police, and of course, he's back in Delhi. Now, viewers, all of this has meant that once again, the BJP and the AAP are at each other's throats. And once again, the victim in this case, Mr. Bagga, his family claims that they were ill-treated, tortured by the police force of a dictatorial AAP government in Punjab that wants to quash free speech. It's a familiar trope, but listen in to Mr. Bagga's father and Manohar Lal Khattar, the Chief Minister of Haryana.
भाई मेरे घर में गुंडे आए, मेरे बच्चे को घसीट के ले गए, मेरा बच्चा चिल्लाता रहा, मेरे बच्चे ने कहा मेरे को सर पे कपड़ा कम से कम बांध लेने दो, उन्होंने उसका मौका नहीं दिया। तजिंदर ने इतना कहा कि चलो ठीक है तुम ले चलो, लेकिन मेरे को कम से कम कपड़ा बांध लेने दो, सर पे कपड़ा बांध दो। उसने कपड़ा बांधने का मौका नहीं दिया, यहाँ से खींच के ले गए, वो बाहर ले गए। बाहर उसके बाद मैं भी निकला, मेरा इस बीच में उन्होंने मोबाइल छीन लिया, और मोबाइल छीनने के साथ मोबाइल जिसमें मैं उसकी वीडियो बनाने लगा, मेरा मोबाइल छीन लिया, मेरे मुंह के ऊपर पंच मारा, मेरे गले के ऊपर झटका दिया कि मेरे को बिठाया। इसके बारे में मैंने रिपोर्ट लिखाई है।
सुबह 5 बजे उठा करके ले गए, तब उनके पिताजी ने वहाँ एक FIR कराई कि मेरे बेटे का अपहरण हो गया है, किडनैप हो गया है, और वो एक गाड़ी इस प्रकार की ये है, उसमें कुछ लोग आए, उठा करके ले गए। और उन्होंने हरियाणा पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म किया कि हमें जो जानकारी मिली है कि पंजाब के कुछ लोग थे लेके गए। उसमें से हरियाणा पुलिस अलर्ट हुई और वो गाड़ियां जो थी उस नंबर की, एक गाड़ी नंबर की थी, बाकी 3-4 गाड़ियां और थी, उनको कुरुक्षेत्र में पिपली के पास उन्होंने उसको रोक लिया, पकड़ लिया है। अब चूँकि ये केस FIR हमारे पास दिल्ली की इन्फॉर्मेशन है, हमारे पास और कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं कि वो पंजाब की पुलिस है, पंजाब में पकड़ा क्या किया, उस गाड़ी को रोक करके। और चूँकि दिल्ली की इन्फॉर्मेशन है तो हमारा काम ये था कि दिल्ली पुलिस को हम हैंड ओवर करेंगे, चाहे वो यहाँ के ले जाए और चाहे यहाँ से हम दिल्ली पहुँचाएंगे, क्योंकि हमारी ड्यूटी बनती है।
this particular case, viewers, has sparked a massive war of words. The BJP going at the AAP. I'm going to go straight across to Shehzad Poonawalla, National Spokesperson, the Bharatiya Janata Party, and also Advocate Abhishek Sudhir, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, and Dr. Akash Deep Muni, political analyst. Let me begin with you first. Mr. Poonawalla, why do you feel so aggrieved? Why is the BJP today accusing the Aam Aadmi Party of overreach, or at least its government in Punjab of overreach? Could you explain?
Thank you, Rahul. And using your platform, let me bring out a fact that has not been discussed at all. On 9th of April, Tejinder Singh Bagga, who had moved the Punjab and Haryana High Court, was granted relief by the Punjab and Haryana High Court, which said because the offences with which he has been charged with are under the jail term of 7 years, he gets relief that has been given by the Supreme Court in Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar. Effectively, that means that no arrest can be effected in such matters, even if the accused skips notice without being armed with a court order. This is the law, and therefore this was violated in complete. It was also a violation of CRPC 41, which gives a checklist of making arrests, particularly arrests that are made in interstate context, and those checklists include, and as has been elaborated by Delhi High Court in Sanjeev Kumar case, it includes that first, the jurisdictional magistrate has to give a court order for effecting the arrest. Second, when the police comes here and even makes the arrest, by the way, 50 policemen came and they disrespected his senior father. They did not allow him to even complete the turban wearing, which was an insult to his religion. Apart from that, they have to ensure that he is given access to a counsel, which they did not do. After arresting him, they have to go to the local police station, in this case the Janakpuri police station, and give a journal entry that they have made an arrest, which they did not do. If they have, they should show the copy of that, and thereafter they have to take a transit remand from the area from which the arrest has been effective, and then go to Punjab, which they did not do. And these were all violations of law, and therefore Preetpal Singh, the father of Tejinder Pal Singh Bagga, made a complaint under sections 365, 392 and various other sections, which include kidnapping and others, which attract a penalty of more than 10 years, saying that his son had been arrested illegally, which was in effect an abduction. And therefore, moving on that, a Delhi court then issued a notice to the Janakpuri SHO saying that please chase this person who has been abducted illegally. And following that order, SHO Janakpuri then chased Mr. Tejinder Pal Singh Bagga into Haryana, and the Haryana government and the Haryana police was informed to take necessary action to stop this illegal abduction, which the Haryana government did. This was challenged in the Haryana and Punjab High Court by the Punjab police, and the Punjab police was told by the Punjab and Haryana High Court that nothing doing, you will not keep him in Haryana, you will not get his custody, he will go back to Delhi, which has been done by Delhi. Now the point that I need to make is politically is that 50 policemen to effect arrest of this one young boy for saying what? Can first somebody tell me what has been said which offends 153A? Somebody has said on television that it is a statement कि मैं तुम्हें शांति से जीने नहीं दूंगा. This is a Hindi phrase and idiom, and Mr. Kejriwal himself has used these idioms a number of times on his Twitter. Saurabh Bharadwaj said it was Abhadra Bhasha. Mr. Kejriwal has called the Prime Minister of India coward and psychopath, which would also qualify as Abhadra Bhasha. Mr. Gyanendra, one of their councillors today, has made an open threat to Kapil Mishra. That would also count as Abhadra Bhasha and a threat. But that is not the point here. The point is that Punjab police has better things to do. For instance, they have to solve the 2 murders a day that take place. Mr. Kejriwal promised that Beadbi would be solved. The case would be cracked in 24 hours after he came to power. That has not happened. The drug mafia has not been cracked upon. We are finding how terrorists are now operating, how Pakistan is pushing its nefarious agenda into Punjab. But instead of allowing the police to focus on that, it has become a personal Gestapo of Arvind Kejriwal. And I think if Indira Gandhi was around, she would say, Shabash Kejriwal, tum to mere se bhi aage nikal gaye.
Okay, but let me just very quickly bring you back to a point that the Aam Aadmi Party has been raising, and several others who are today standing in support of the Aam Aadmi Party are raising, that look, when it comes to illegal detentions, etc., on the mere criticism of leaders, the BJP is second to none. They are recently pointing out the Jignesh Mevani case. How do you respond to those detractors, Mr. Poonawalla?
Again, I will quote to you that first of all, there was a complete stay and restraint on the arrest of Tejinder Pal Singh Bagga, even if he had skipped notices or did not attend notices. By the way, his counsel had responded to all 5 notices of the Punjab police. Secondly, his lawyers, 2 from Delhi, had gone to Punjab police to give their statement on record. This is contrary to what happened in the Jignesh Mevani case. In the Jignesh Mevani case, a transit remand was taken. An order was there from the court to effect his arrest. Once he was arrested, he was taken to the court, and another transit remand was got to take him to Assam. So the two cannot be compared. And I am saying that is still that a justification for the illegality that has occurred today? Is that what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying? A, no illegality was affected in the Jignesh Mewani case. But I am saying even if you assume that there was an illegality, two wrongs never make a right. I want to know why the 9th April order of the Punjab and Haryana High Court was blatantly thrown into the winds. This is contempt of court. Cops have been held up for contempt of court. It is a violation of the Sanjeev Kumar case, and therefore this cannot be justified by any other excuse from any other part of the country or any other piece of time. This has to be stood and judged on its own merits, and today it is a complete violation of law.
Okay, Advocate Sudhir, how do you respond before I bring in Dr. Ranganathan and Dr. Muni? How do you respond, Abhishek Sudhir?
Yeah. Well, first of all, he says two wrongs don't make a right. So, Jignesh Mewani, it's okay for you to cart him off from Gujarat to Assam. You have a chief minister in Assam, you have a chief minister in Gujarat, you have governments in both the states. You take Mewani from a BJP-ruled state to another BJP-ruled state. The Aam Aadmi Party, the chief minister Bhagwat Mann, has sent the police force, and the police force has come to Delhi. They were in Jankipuram police station. They were asking for permission, right? They intimated the police and said, please, this chap Bagga, he's no victim, Mr. Shivshankar. You called him a victim. He's a rabble-rouser. He's a piece of riffraff. People like him belong in prison. He's a hate monger. He has said, "Hum Arvind Kejriwal ko jeene nahi denge." This person belongs in prison. What has Jignesh Mewani done, right, to be arrested in Gujarat and taken to Assam? For an MLA who's an elected representative, there is no protection from the Speaker of the Gujarat Assembly. He's carted off across the country. He's granted bail by a court over there. Then you re-arrest him on some trumped-up false charge on some assault case, and the judge who granted him bail said, you are making a mockery of our democracy. And Shehzad Poonawala has the audacity, has the gall to say two wrongs don't make a right. So you're accepting what you did with Jignesh Mewani was wrong, right? The Delhi police refused to cooperate with the Punjab police. This man is a known hate monger. He spreads hate on Twitter.
Okay, 1 second. Let him finish.
I'm not selectively hearing.
Okay,
you are blind.
Yes, no problem.
In your
I just want to say,
you are blind.
Calm down. 1 minute. I just want to make one point. Viewers, we may not like. No, 1 second. Viewers, advocate. 1 second. Advocate Sudhir. You may not. 1 minute. Give me. Okay, great. Fine. Okay, 1 second. Okay, you can even join the party. Not a problem. Look, I mean, let's not lose our perspective. You're an advocate, and you said that, and this is what you said, that Mr. Bagga is a hate monger. He's a this, he's a that. Look, last we heard you were not a judge, and you certainly haven't presided over his case to pronounce guilt. So it's all alleged. He's an alleged hate monger. Let's at least not deviate from, basic propriety. So that's very important. And I'm not saying at all that Mr. Mewani is guilty either. Allegedly, Mr. Mewani is guilty of the crimes that he's accused of also. So just keeping this balanced and just reminding you that as an advocate, you shouldn't sort of cross the line there. But a quick response from Mr. Poonawala to Advocate Sudhir. I think there are certain charges that have been made that you need to respond to, and I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan right after. Yes.
Now, today I'm trying to talk to Mr. Sudhir, the lawyer, and with due respect to Mr. Sudhir, and I like him very much. Please let me complete. Sudhir, I'm addressing you as a lawyer. Please try to understand what I'm trying to say.
Do you?
Please.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, sir, please don't interrupt. There is a standing High Court order dated 9th April that no direct...
You're not marrying him. It's okay. We're not... this is not a marriage bureau where you have to like each other. This is not a dating
but Rahul,
service.
Please, let me complete two very fundamental points to this
not
debate.
Not dating service, we're debating. No, we're having... You don't have to marry each other.
Okay.
So, Abhishek, Sudhir, please stop interfering by saying that you don't like X or you don't like Y. No one is forcing you to get married. If you want... some sort of arbitration, we can do it outside of court, and perhaps you guys can get married. But let's not please lower the level of this debate. We're trying to get to some meaty issues.
Unfortunately, it won't be legal. Otherwise, I'd love to marry Shehzad.
Go ahead.
Can I please? Because it's a very important debate,
It would be illegal, but I'd love to marry you.
Okay, well.
Okay. There is a standing High Court order of 9th
lighter
of
note. Okay,
there is a
jokes apart.
standing
Yes.
High Court order of 9th of April which prohibits the Punjab Police, even if Mr. Bagga skips summons or notices, to arrest him directly without a court order. Point number one. But Mr. Bagga was not skipping notices. His lawyers have responded to them. Point number two. Even if we were wrong in the Jignesh Mevani case, we were not, because we armed ourselves with a court order. We took the transit remand. Both of these things have not been done in Mr. Bagga's case. The two can't be compared. But even if we were completely wrong in Mr. Mevani's case, that can't be an
Delhi
excuse
police
for
were
roughshooting the
refusing to
law
cooperate.
in this case.
But
So
the
therefore,
court didn't
don't
have
add
something
the
to
two
say
things.
about
Cooperate.
Mevani's. But they.
If your party obeys court orders,
Go ahead.
you
Go
were
ahead.
told to move
Go ahead.
Siddiq Kapan from Mathura jail to AIMS.
Now we are
You
getting
didn't
into
do it.
whataboutery.
You didn't do
now
it.
you are
You didn't
getting into
follow that court
whataboutery.
order.
We are discussing
The
this
Chief
present
Justice
case.
Ramana has
is
said,
this extracting
Chief
revenge
Justice
for Siddiq
Ramana,
Kapan?
in front
Is
of
this
Prime Minister
extraction of
Narendra
revenge
Modi,
let me
for
just-
has said that the
Mr.
government
Mevani?
refuses to follow court
Rahul,
orders.
I am being very specific
and you
today.
accepted you were wrong in the
I am
Jignesh
saying
Mevani
let's
case.
discuss
I
this
applaud
case.
you.
Okay.
Whatever
I
your
applaud you.
views
You
on
got
the
a
other case may
conscience.
be, those cases have been decided by a court of law. Today's case, there is a standing Punjab and Haryana High Court
Sir,
order
you
I am
can't
showing.
have this
I can read it out to you. Should I
You
read
just
it out
want to
to you?
focus on this
I'll read it
case,
out
but
to
you don't want to look at the
Let me
cases.
read out what has been said in Mr. Bagga's case. Let me just read out one line.
The Delhi police
One line.
had to cooperate. The Delhi
Mr.
police had
Shivshankar,
to
one line from
cooperate
Mr.
with the
Bagga's
Punjab police.
case in Punjab
the
and
Delhi
Haryana
police
High
were
Court. One
not
line.
acting in accordance
Please,
with the CRPC.
let's have a civilized debate.
The
I
Delhi
request
police
you.
were acting in
Mr.
violation
Sudhir,
of the
you're much better than this. You don't need to
CRPC.
interrupt.
One
Let me
minute,
read
one
one
minute. Let
line.
me just step in here.
CRPC.
Gentlemen,
Let me just
please,
read one
one
line.
second. Let me just step in. Look, I
Just
don't
one
want
line.
this quarrel. Please, let's
Exactly.
stop.
There's no
Okay,
point.
let's
Whatever
stop
you're
speaking
reading,
over
I
each other.
want the
Let's at least agree to
citation,
disagree.
I want the page
On
number,
you might
I
agree
want
to
the
disagree on.
paragraph.
No, Rahul.
Okay, 1 minute.
I don't trust a word that
Mr.
comes out of your mouth.
Mr. Sudhir, 1 minute, please. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Let me just come in for 10 seconds, please. Please, gentlemen, please. 1 second. I just want to set some basic ground rules. We might agree to disagree. We might have hate for each other. We may not want to get married to each other. Fair enough. It's all okay. Take that out of this debate. We're talking about issues. Let's stick to the issues and let's speak. When we're invited to speak, you can respond one after. If you speak over each other, none of us are going to understand anything. My point is, to Mr. Poonawalla, I think Mr. Sudhir has said that, look, the Guwahati High Court had a few things to say about the Mevani detention and arrest. Would you like to arrest that? Was that not high-handed? And if that is not high-handed, then why would you then be sort of frustrated about the fact that Mr. Bagga has been picked up by the police, Punjab Police?
Okay, because I want others to also get into the debate, I'm just reading one line from the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Justice Harinder Singh Sidhu directed the Punjab state government to strictly follow Supreme Court's directions in the case of Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar. This has been said because none of the offences in the FIR are punishable by imprisonment for no more than 7 years. If they are treating what the Guwahati High Court has said as gospel, why are they treating Punjab and Haryana High Court's words so cheaply? In fact, this argument should be put to Mr. Sudhir to say that if the Guwahati High Court is so gospel for them, why are they treating this so lightly? Why are they changing the principles? And point number 2, today's debate is about the case of Mr. Tejinder Pal Singh Bagga. Mr. Jignesh Mevani got what he deserved from court. Mr. Bagga also deserves to get what he deserved from court. Court has then said to the Delhi police, please take him back. And that's what has happened. Why are you now making a mountain out of a molehill? You have effected an illegal arrest. It was an abduction. Let the court case now decide.
Okay, quick response. Fair enough. Quick response, on point. On point, quick response, Mr. Sudhir, in the extant
Mr.
case that we are discussing.
Mr. Shivshankar, the provisions relating to transit remand are contained in the CRPC. You cannot obtain transit remand if the police of the state in which the other state's police have come to don't cooperate. They were in the Janakipuram police station all night yesterday. They said that on April
There is no
1st, he made a
police
speech.
station here.
We have sent him 5 summons to cooperate in the
Janakipuram?
investigation. He is...
There is Janakpuri. There's no Jankipuram. You can't make up police
Listen
stations.
to me, man.
Again,
no
you're speaking
Jankipuram.
over
Sorry, I misspoke.
Okay, one second.
I misspoke.
Sir, he does not know the facts of
1
this
minute.
case.
Just hold yourself.
Janakpuri, I said Jankipuram.
Okay, I'm going to have to step in here.
Okay. You call Modi.
Fair enough.
If you can call Modi Desi
Yes,
Hitler,
if
you can call Modi Desi Hitler and become
please
BJP.
stick to the facts of the
If you
case. There is no Jankipuram police station and show me the diary entry.
I'm going to bring in Dr. Ranganathan
Show
now.
the
I have a point
I'm
to
bringing
make.
in
Can I
Dr.
finish my
Ranganathan in
point?
5 seconds. If
Can
you
I
guys
just
don't-
finish my point?
Please.
The Delhi
Yeah,
police
just finish
refused
your
to
point.
cooperate.
Quickly, finish your
the
point.
Delhi police
Finish your
refused to
point.
cooperate. I laud the Punjab police. I laud the Punjab Police, and please arrest Kapil Mishra next.
Okay, you
please
laud the
arrest
Punjab.
Kapil Mishra next.
Dr. Ranganathan,
I laud the Punjab Police.
Dr. Ranganathan,
I laud the
sorry,
Aam Aadmi
took
Party.
some time to come to you. Dr. Ranganathan, what do you make of this? What do you make of the shenanigans we've seen all day today?
Yeah, good evening, Rahul, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. I've been waiting very patiently for my time and hearing the two lawyers, erudite lawyers, and my good friends at loggerheads. So please, I request the courtesy of a couple of minutes. Rahul, as they say, Purja Purja kat mare, kabahu na chhade khet, Bagga wohi. Forget 50 police officers. Even sawa lakh of them wouldn't have been able to tame Tejinder Bagga. But honestly, what happened was not only illegal, but also crooked, draconian, and downright unacceptable. And after this, if you still believe that Arvind Kejriwal is different from others, then you are one who rubs his nails every morning to cure baldness. It is the party that celebrates anarchy, that perfected hypocrisy, that bought out much of the media with taxpayers' money, that publicly implored citizens to elect goons and thugs just so that BJP can be defeated. And that is now persecuting citizens
Anand, you're better
for
than
their
this.
tweets. Oh, the irony that Kejriwal wants a man arrested because of a few tweets against him, when all his waking life, the only thing he has ever done
What
is to
about
abuse,
Jignesh Mevani, Anand?
slander,
Come on, yaar.
vilify everyone under the sun. If Anil Ambani had got 1 rupee for every time he was abused and slandered by Kejriwal, trust me, Rahul, he'd have paid back all his loans and forget his brother. He would have surpassed even Elon
Anand, you're
Musk in
being
personal
unfair,
wealth.
Anand.
Rahul, can I not be interrupted, please? Did I interrupt anyone for 20
Anand,
minutes?
you're being unfair.
No,
You're being
why
unfair.
are you interrupting
What
me?
about
huh?
Jignesh Mevani
Okay,
being punished
Abhishek
for his
Sudhir,
tweets?
please.
Where was
Abhishek
your
Sudhir, I'm muting you.
Jignesh Mevani?
This is how-
I'm
this
muting
is
you,
how-
please. Please stop interrupting people. You can. I said to you, there is a rule of engagement. Please, I said, don't do this, please. I'm going to mute you otherwise. This is not, Tamashbeen channel. Please don't do it. Let's just keep it to civility. Please let him finish. He never interrupted you, for God's sakes. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, go ahead.
Yes, and as I was about to say, before Sudhir interrupted me because he can't even listen to me for more than a minute. To be serious, Rahul, this isn't a party-specific or Kejriwal-specific issue. Every party's hands are covered in blood. From Congress to BJP to AAP to TMC, they have all brutally stifled free speech. Just last week, Assam police went all the way to Gujarat and arrested MLA Mevani for his sarcastic tweets on PM Modi. The allegations were the same AAP is making now on Bagga, that Mevani was inciting and disturbing peace. It sickens me when BJP in Gujarat uses sedition to arrest a journalist who criticized the CM's handling of COVID. It sickens me when Congress in Chhattisgarh uses it to arrest a man who complained of power cut. It sickens me when 10,000 people are charged with sedition under the NDA and 12,000 people are charged with sedition under the UPA, including 8,500 people in a single day. All politicians are equally guilty, but the most guilty is the Congress party that was supposed to cradle and feed baby India into a robust, confident, free and liberal alert nation. And yahan pahunch gaye hum. The stark reality, Rahul, is that we don't have a constitution that respects dissent. We have laws and articles and amendments that, rather than protect the rights of the dissenter, protect those who violate his rights. Everything is grey. Everything is subject to something. Everything is primed for offending religious sensibilities, and all parties and politicians are equally guilty. Rahul, just 30 seconds. If I am not in jail right now, Rahul, it is because the state has decided that I need not be jailed. Dozens are arrested every week for offending religious sensibilities under 295A, brought in by the British after Mahatma Gandhi outraged against the booklet Rangila Rasool. Truth is, there was more respect for dissent in ancient India than there is in the modern. My humble request to those who commission the Ambedkar statue next, team up his bronze spectacles. Let him not see this India, or he will cry tears of stone.
Okay. Dr. Muni, let me ask you this. You see, the BJP said that Mr. Kejriwal protected Kanhaiya Kumar, Umar Khalid, and the Tukre gang for years altogether, didn't give permission for prosecution. Finally, it did after dithering. He did not ever condemn the sloganeering at JNU or AMU that Mr. Kejriwal's own deputy has come forward and also extended support to those with Shaheen Bagh, that said, in all these places, lots of not so pleasant things were said. At that time, of course, you were standing with the people who made all those statements. Now, at the mere instance of one Mr. Bagga going out there and criticizing Mr. Kejriwal, you want him arrested. So, isn't this duplicity when it comes to free speech? Dr. Muni.
Mr. Rahul, specifically, I will come to your one word called duplicity. Very interesting word. I'll provide you two curious cases. Tajinder Singh Bagga, politician with so much might, with all the political parties and state machineries coming into the help of Tajinder Singh Bagga, that he was arrested by the Punjab Police one day, and in 1 hour, Delhi Police, Haryana Police, everybody comes into his rescue. And the second case of Pawan Jaiswal from UP, who reported, and listen to me, don't react, listen to me, who reported on that midday meal, in midday meals to children were given only roti and namak, and a fire was filed in UP, and no such outrage from state machineries, from people, no such outrage of euphemistic words by Professor Ranganathan also. Nothing was happening. Then this curious two cases, remember.
This man,
and this is
even know what he's talking about.
Let me complete. I'll come to you.
Don't take my name. Don't take my name in your ignorance. Did you not see?
Okay, let him finish. Let him finish.
But remember,
Let him finish.
Rahul,
Let him finish.
remember
Let him
one
finish.
thing.
Dr. Ranganathan, let him finish. You
Rahul.
can round off the debate. Let him finish. Yes, Mr. Muni,
Definitely,
finish.
definitely.
Dr. Muni, finish. Make your point. Yeah.
Only line I want to drag is that there were 5 summons given to Mr. Bagga. He did not appear.
Okay.
He was arrested, and then the law should take its own course. Interestingly, it did not. All the state machinery came into existence.
Okay, so
for
just
its
1
help.
minute.
And
Viewers, look, this matter is still,
and-
fair enough. This matter is still, I get your point. This matter is sub judice. Tomorrow, it comes up once again in court. We will have to wait. I just want Dr. Ranganathan, because he referred to you, Dr. Muni referred to you, Dr. Ranganathan, you wanted to say something. You have the floor for 30 seconds, yes, and I want to wind this up. Yes.
Yes, it is unfortunate that Dr. Muni, who is a doctor presumably, were to take my name and slander me. Has he not been hearing what I said? I not only took the case of Jignesh Mevani, I also talked of that Gujarat journalist who was arrested on the charges of sedition. I also talked about that NDA has unfairly arrested 10,000 people on sedition. क्या सुन रहे हो डॉक्टर साहब? और ये वॉटअबाउटरी को छोड़ो. आपके अरविंद केजरीवाल थे जो कि कहते थे फ्री स्पीच पैरामाउंट है. एनार्किस्ट बने हुए थे. अंबानी, अदानी, पता नहीं किन किन लोगों को गालियां दी हैं. अगर जैसे मैंने कहा 1 रुपया मिलता उस हर एक गाली पे, तो अभी वो बिलियनर होता अनिल अंबानी. और अब आप ही लोग अरेस्ट कर रहे हो एक ट्वीट पे. शर्म आती है कि नहीं? इतना भी लैकी मत बनो. आप डॉक्टर हो,
कितना बोला?
Okay, well,
काउंसलर बना देंगे या दिल्ली जल बोर्ड का कोई बनना चाहते हो, वो अलग बात है.
Okay. No, Dr. Muni, you probably did not hear him. I just want to close the debate because viewers, we have Mr. Bill Gates, who has spoken to us on a